Playing got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it. Fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Hopefully y'all can hear me okay. Tony Denaro here with special guest tonight, Mediocre Trader. Mediocre, what is up, amigo?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing tonight?
Doing great, doing great. I mean, it wasn't the greatest day in the market. Let's be honest.
No, it was pretty bloody. I think it's going to get worse, honestly, but we'll see.
I know you. I think you, much like myself, have been calling for one more market correction. I've been saying since the beginning of this year, I'm not thinking we're out of the woods till we get through the end of March at the earliest.
Yeah, I'm expecting some turmoil with what's going on with the inflation and stuff, CPI data and all that. So,
and now we got more Biden and Russia and Ukraine stuff going on over this weekend. Well, I'm not going to get into politics. Let's just move on.
Right.
Let's say hi to some folks. Blazing, what's up? Bravskar, good evening. Dots, good evening. Grandma Lou, good evening. Who else we got here? Juicy, Blazing, Meredith, Steve, Dan, all the way from the UK. How you doing, Dan? You want to say hi to some folks before we get into some topics?
Yeah, let me see what we got here. I seen Koba was in here, a couple others. I'll check in a minute. I'm trying to go over to my channel and get things fired up over there.
Okay, all right. I'll handle it for a minute. You just let me know when you're ready.
You got it, buddy.
I'm gonna put up some news here real quick, and then we're just gonna jump right into your questions, guys. I mean, you already know, you watch the markets today. I really want to know what questions you have about what the heck's going on. We're talking about the markets. We can talk about a couple of different tickers, whatever is on your mind, and then obviously I know some of my viewers, maybe one or two, might have a question about a lawsuit that's going on with AMC, so we will touch on that. Keep in mind, Mediocre and I, neither one of us, to my knowledge, are an attorney. So anything that we give, any info we give regarding to the lawsuit is probably just as good as your info, but we're happy to share our opinions. Stock futures inch higher as investors brace for the Fed minutes. That must be tomorrow, huh? And then we had Walmart earnings this morning. We had Home Depot that kind of got us off to a shaky start. And this morning just never kind of really worked out for anything other than AMC. AMC and a few other stocks were up today. Let's go to all the indexes were down over 2% today. Decliners on the day, 5,219 versus advancers, 1,155. That is pretty brutal, guys. Worst day of the indexes so far in 2023. Ugh. Someone said, Tony, are you going to go live today? I'm like, for what? For what? To watch AMC go up a couple points and the rest of the market bleed out? No, I think I'll get some productive stuff done today. I'll hang out with y'all tonight and have a beer. We can commiserate over everything being down. What do you think, Mediocre? Did you do any trading today? It was only a good day, I think, if you had puts on something.
I sold some call options on some stuff to make some money.
Oh, there you go. Selling call options. Good plan.
on some stuff. I got some long outdated call options. I sold some call options against that and against some of the shares I hold.
Before we get into the lawsuit and other questions, let me just answer one easy one that I heard many times today in various locations about the QSIP. I know that look, I have my holdings are in many different brokers, and I know some of you are seeing when you go to your proxy, or maybe you saw, or you're seeing people talk about it. The first 6 digits of the QSIP on your proxy are the same. You got an email for AMC and you got an email for APE, and they look like they have the same 6-digit QSIP. Just want to clarify that the QSIP is 9 digits, not 6. And if you're seeing 6 and they're exactly the same, that's because the first 6 digits are indeed the same for AMC and APE. And your broker, for whatever reason, is just abbreviating it. But I can tell you from my brokers that that show the whole thing, both of them are on there. They are different, and all the votes. If we get a vote now with this lawsuit, if we get a vote, all of the votes will be counted separately by QSIP number. They're not. The reason you got 2 emails if you're holding AMC and APE is because they are counting them separately. As far as how they'll be reported, that I don't know. Not too often that I see something structured exactly like this. So there'll be an 8K filing after the vote, whenever the vote is, March 14th or a later date, and we'll see how they report it. We'll also hear in the phone call. All right, so we got QSIPs out of the way. Follow me on Twitter. Check my community tab. I talked about this over the weekend. Many people did, but I still heard dozens and dozens of questions on that today. Hopefully that helps. A lot of DMs. There was a lot of stuff hit the fan on Monday. People digging deep into Delaware general corporate law and offering opinions about what was going on. I talked about this a week or 10 days ago. Is AMC violating Delaware law? I'm just going to tell you again, I'm not an attorney, but based on having looked at these filings for a couple of years and reading through all the SEC regulations again, it seems to me, in my non-law degree opinion, that these are frivolous lawsuits. But that's about all I'm going to say on that, other than now it is in the hands. It's been e-filed to the court. I didn't check since lunchtime if it had a case number assigned, but it's in the hands of the judge and the attorneys now. So my opinion at this point, me reading through filings and digging through documents at this point, is irrelevant. It was fun while it was on Twitter, but what I think now is really irrelevant. People that know far more about it than me or you are going to be debating that. So I think, why did APE go down today? Because the vote on March 14th is now in question. It is my strong belief that APE only ran up because there was a possibility of a conversion. And I've been telling you, if you vote no, one of the things that will happen, and I'm happy again to talk about pros and cons of yes and no vote. But if you vote no, one of the things that will happen is APE will drop back down probably to about 65 cents, maybe less if Adam Aaron dilutes it more, because he's going to need to raise capital. No matter how we vote, the company's going to raise capital to get through 2023.
Exactly.
So the fact that the March 14th, there's even a bigger doubt now due to the lawsuit, is why APE fell today. And it fell. Sorry for speaking. I'm getting tired of speaking, Mediocre. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
APE is down 8%. AMC is went up 16.4% today. I was gonna shot call and come on live if AMC went over $7. I've got call options on AMC. I'm long on both AMC and APE, and I have more APE than AMC. But I own both. I've owned both for a long time, and I'd love to see AMC run up. I'd love to see both of them run up. And let's let Mediocre get a few words in, whatever's on his mind, and then we'll start taking some of your questions.
I just want to say hi to people in chat first. I'm echoing Tony through you.
You want to say hi and what?
I was echoing through your stuff. Wow, it's better now.
Oh, okay.
I want to say hi to Koba, Pixie, Grandpa Barney, a bunch of people in the chat over there. Say hello. And no, I agree with you. I mean, I think the lawsuit's frivolous, but I'm not an attorney. You know, I didn't even look into any Delaware law like you did, to be honest with you. I just I heard about the lawsuit today, and I'm like, what? And I got my own opinions on it, but it is what it is. I just think it's it doesn't stand any weight in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. We'll let the judge decide.
It was, what stood out to me, Mediocre. What do you guys think? Any of you that were following this on Twitter this weekend, or some of the faceless comments turned off videos? It looked to me like the same stuff that these guys were putting out yesterday showed up almost word for word in the lawsuit. And I know that lawsuit wasn't written, starting at lunchtime yesterday. Somebody on the no vote side was tipped off exactly what was in this lawsuit. That's my strong guess, because everything that was being put out, all the anti-conversion noise yesterday, was almost word for word exactly in the lawsuit as I read through all 42 pages this morning.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that it has any weight behind it. I think the main part. My question is where do they? It's a class action lawsuit for one. I'll just bring that up because I read that it was a class action, and it said that that retail investors are getting. They're basically that AMC is doing a workaround to eliminate our vote. And I don't necessarily believe that, because we have an opportunity to vote, right?
Yep.
And where do they get off filing a lawsuit on behalf of me? They didn't ask me for that permission. That's one of my questions. I'd like to ask you guys what you think about that.
My microphone fell off. Hang on.
You're good. So, I mean, I'm curious of what you guys think about that, right? Like, did you call up, Allegheny County and tell them that you wanted to do a lawsuit against AMC? I don't think you did. So, I mean, I think it'll be handled. We have attorneys. I'm sure Adam Aaron and AMC have plenty of attorneys to handle it. I think it's a way to kind of drive down the price on AMC a little bit. Just my thought. Why else would they want to do it, right? If they don't want us buying ape, to cause the price to go down an ape to run the price up on AMC. I don't know. I'm not certain on why. I don't really care. I really don't.
I want to say a couple of other things. And Mediocre, if you disagree, you're welcome to say your own piece too. But again, guys, on my channel, I am not here to tell anybody how to vote. I have not disclosed how I'm voting. I don't plan to disclose how I vote. It's really nobody's business. That's my business. It's not my job to tell you how to vote. I'm happy to share my thoughts with you, though, if you ask on what will happen on a yes or a no vote. It's up to you to decide, and I encourage all of you to please vote. One thing that was really disappointing to me in 2022 is, as investors, if there's 516 million of us, or if there's 5 billion of us, pick your number. Why did we only able to muster 200,000 votes? Did you guys know not even half the shares were voted last year?
No, I know.
So please vote, whatever your vote is. I'm not here to tell anybody how to vote.
I mean, yeah, people close to me know my vote, but I don't really publicly say what my vote is, because number one, I I don't want people following my trades or what I'm doing. To be honest, because I don't want to give the impression that I just don't want to tell people, because I don't want to feel that weight on me. It's not up to me to protect your money. That's up to you. And it's up to you to. So number one, voting is part of protecting your portfolio, period. If you want to protect your portfolio, you should vote how you think it will protect your portfolio.
The other reason I don't want to give any instructions is I don't know what your portfolio is. I don't know if you're holding AMC and APE. I don't know if you're only holding AMC. I don't know if you're only holding APE. I don't know if you've been loading up on one versus the other. All of these things are going to have some impact in your own personal choice of how you vote. So that guys, that is up to you. But we can kind of walk you through what Adam Aaron's doing, why he's doing it, and what's going to happen with the yes or no vote. And then you can decide.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you what I think will happen if something happens with votes, but that's just a guess. You know, I won't know until it happens. But I have an opinion on what will happen.
Hey, Mediocre, the trolls in my comments are really mad about one thing. Let's just go ahead and knock this out. Mediocre.
Go for it. What do we got?
Mediocre. They want to know, Tony and Mediocre, how come you won't tell them that they're losing 90% of their shares, Tony?
Because you're not. That's why.
It depends on what kind of, are you using kindergarten math or, college level calculus math, right? If you're focused on share count, yes, you're losing 90%. Now and the other funny thing is, I know these guys are trolls because we talk about this every time I'm live, literally. So if you're coming in my comments saying, you're not telling them they're losing 90% of their shares, Tony Denaro. Well, that's how I know you're not listening, because we talk about it every day.
Yeah.
You're going to lose 90% of your count. Your portfolio value is going to remain exactly the same. And I understand that calculus is hard for some chalk eaters out there, but I'm not going to waste my time hand carrying you to college level calculus here.
Listen, reach into your wallet, pull out 10 ones in a $10 bill, and there you go. That's what a reverse split is in a nutshell. Give me your 10 ones, I'll give you a $10 bill. That's what a reverse split is. It's that simple.
The other thing is, if you think it's all about share count, guys, go check with some GameStop holders. They had a 4-for-1 4-for-1 stock split. They should be rolling in the money, guys. Rolling in the money over in GameStop. They've got 4 times as many shares. Mediocre, can you check? Oh, they're down 50% since they quadrupled their shares. Do you see how share count doesn't mean jack shit? What matters is what happens in the market after anything, or what's going on in the market in general. The count of the shares is completely irrelevant. It's just a math equation. What you should be worried about, what I'm concerned about, now getting back to more serious, is dilution of any stock, not just AMC. We'll talk about the risk of dilution probably almost every single day as people are asking me about different plays. The sad fact of the matter is you are in a company that at the last quarterly report had $500 million in cash. And if they hadn't sold any APE, we'd be down to $200 million. And then we'd be bankrupt. If nothing changed, we'd be bankrupt in 2 quarters. But thank God they've been selling APE, whether you like the price of it or not. I don't. Of course, I don't want them selling it at 65 cents. But
yeah, of course I want them selling it.
They bought themselves a quarter.
I want it sold at $10 too.
Yeah, they bought themselves basically an extra quarter of life selling APE.
And you know what? He's selling until he gets his $140 million that he needs.
We're hoping that retail popcorn comes out. We're hoping that more movies come out and that people go see movies this year. But where I was going with all this is this is why it's important, guys, to look at financial statements and not just listen to clickbait hopium on Reddit and other YouTube channels. I will tell you straight up how it is, like I always have. This company's running out of cash. Where'd the money go? Again, if you ask me where the money went, I know for a fact you have never looked at a financial statement because it's all right there. I mean, between the operating losses and the debt service, we're burning 200 plus million a quarter. And that's where the money went in the last year and a half. So we're reaching the bottom. We've got to get through this year. And no matter how you vote, a no vote is going to be billions of more dilution inefficiently with APE. That's your choice. That's one choice. Say yes.
Now, I'll say this.
Let me just finish. Let me just finish it, and then you can tear into it for a minute. A yes vote is going to also be dilution at a higher price with the new AMC shares. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. I unfortunately I don't think I can avoid dilution, but Mediocre, tell us the good part of the story.
Well, I wanted to say this first. The simple fact is in the lawsuit it said something about him not doing his fiduciary duty. And I just want to say, if he doesn't get money and we go bankrupt because he didn't try to get money, that's not doing his fiduciary duty. I just want to let you all know that, right? He has an obligation to the company and its shareholders to do the best job that he could do to keep us afloat. I don't know what to say other than that.
Mediocre, what about the people saying that Adam Aaron doesn't know how to raise money? All he's doing is burning it, Mediocre. He doesn't know how to raise money. He should be fired.
I mean, look at, okay.
What do you say? Because I got a couple thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts.
The bottom line is when we got into this play, we got into a failing company. Do people not realize that? Seriously, like the company was not looking good.
They were making zero revenue in 2020. The movie industry shut down for a year, and you don't just crank out a movie in 30 days. I can tell you because I used to be an actor. Wink, wink.
But I mean, it's true. What do you expect? He's got all these properties he's got to maintain. He's got to have employees there doing stuff. Granted, they weren't seeing movies, but he didn't have every employee there. I'm sure they were making cuts. They had no choice, but the bills are still going to roll in, just like at your house. What happens if you don't have a job? Your bill's just going to stop coming? No. I mean, that's where the money went.
Wait, I want you guys to think. Put your head up to the top of your skull like you're searching for an answer. And just think, what are the different ways that a company can raise money? Dun, 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 dun. I can name a couple off the top of my head. Mediocre. Number one way you can raise money is to borrow it. What else you got, Mediocre?
Oh, you can do a reverse stock split and dilute.
you could do an equity raise, right? That's what you're saying. You could do an equity raise, which is dilution. And a third way, the only real, you could sell assets. Yep. I don't think we don't have a lot to sell at AMC theaters. Maybe a couple of broken down popcorn machines. You
could try and get investors, big money investors to come in, which didn't happen.
That is also equity raise though, right? It's either you're going to sell them debt or shares.
Right.
So the only other way you could raise money that I can legitimately think of is increase income. And I will just say in defense of Adam Aaron, he's been developing the retail popcorn. Now, if you're not familiar with bringing a food product to market, 18 months is about the average time to make that happen. We're just coming up on that. 12 months would be very aggressive. And I would say, 12 months, if you're a seasoned food production company, like a Kraft or Kellogg's, you might be able to crank some products out, some iterations of existing products in 12 months, but you got all sorts of regulatory hurdles, logistics, labeling, product development. So he's been working on another revenue stream. You guys know some of the other ones that he's working on, but ultimately the big, the premium siding, they're messing around with that. Kettle corn, Adam, I want to see some kettle corn. But really the only other way to get more money is to increase income. And unfortunately, if you're holding AMC, we are holding a stock which is handcuffed by Hollywood in that regard, the raising money. So I don't really know. I'd like anyone who's making 5 videos a day saying Adam Aaron must be fired because he doesn't know how to stop losing money. Tell me, besides equity raise, sale of assets, borrowing more money or increasing income, what is he missing? What is he missing?
I mean, he did raise some ticket prices as well, but
Exactly.
you can only raise prices
and
so
concessions.
much.
He's been adding to broadening the concessions menu, raising the prices. I mean, what the hell? Have you guys ever ran a company? Where's your ideas? No, you just want to put 5 videos a day out saying he's doing a bad job because you don't like the ape. I get it. Ape got hammered, and I held mine all the way down. But I've been talking about the adding it as it got cheaper, so you could be ready for this vote bounce. Some of y'all did that. Some of y'all don't. That was your choice, but.
I mean, I did the same, Tony. I won't lie. That I wrote it all the way up and all the way back down.
Woo.
But I think popcorn's a good idea. I think popcorn's probably going to be one of the best ideas because you don't have to go to the movies to support AMC now.
Yep.
You compete right with Orville Redenbacher or whoever.
We watch a movie almost every night, not always at AMC. A lot of them are at home, right? Because some nights you're just too tired to go out. And I like me some popcorn. I'm hoping they have some good flavors.
Exactly. I mean, if only AMC shareholders bought it, that's still a good amount of money. But I think more people are going to buy it than just AMC shareholders.
Mediocre, I'm going to go out on a limb, but I'm going to predict within the first 48 hours of that shit hitting the grocery store shelves, you're going to see all of it sold out. What do you think?
I think so too, because I'm going to buy it. Are you?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know why I'm going to go buy it? Because that's money goes directly to them.
I'm going to buy it because I like popcorn and I will eat it, or I'll donate it to a homeless shelter or somewhere. But, mostly because I enjoy eating it.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to buy anything, it's going to be a company that I'm invested in over Orville Redenbacher. Just like when I owned Ford, I would only buy Ford trucks. When I owned McDonald's in years past, I would only go to McDonald's for fast food. And when I owned Coca-Cola, I'd never fucking buy a Pepsi.
I agree with you.
Support companies you believe in. Support companies you're invested in.
You've got your money in there.
Duplessis says, Tony, I can tell you're bearish on theaters. No, I'm just honest. I wouldn't be down 5 digits on my shares if I was bearish, friend. And, welcome to the channel. Because clearly you've never heard anything I've said in the last 18 months, or you just tuned out of all of the bullish case that I've made many, many times for 2024. Guys, the box office domestic last year was $7 billion. It's going to be about $9 billion this year. It's going to ideally be around 11 to 12 billion in 2024. When we get to that point, if nothing else happens, if no squeeze happens, around 2024, we got a shot of starting to get some break-even quarters or positive quarters. If nothing else happens, right? I'm not counting credit cards. I'm not counting popcorn. I'm not counting anything else. I'm just saying if we just are counting on box office revenues and increasing movies. Did you know, I was looking, Mediocre, the number of movies, for example, shown in January, February of this year were at 1/2 the quantity shown in 2018, 2019.
Really?
If you go back and look at, how many movies were in the database that were screened, shown in theaters domestically in 2018, 2019, it was about 160 in January and February of 2018, 2019. It was 80 this year.
Yeah.
So we got a ways to go with Hollywood getting caught up in production and cranking that shit out.
And they need to make better movies too, which they will. Some of these movies are pretty good, but you know.
Yep. Duplessis says he's just joking because he said sometimes I watch movies at home. Yeah, I'm always asking the wife, do you want to go see a movie? And sometimes, you know, if she's tired and I'm tired too, and she says no, then we just watch something at home. And sometimes I just leave her here and go by myself. Depends on what the movie is. Like I did just go see, by the way, Ant-Man. And
I just seen it yesterday.
She didn't want to go see it. And I texted my son, who's a sophomore in college here in town. And he said he was too busy, tests or girls or something. So I went and saw it by myself. And that's fine. Javi, what's up? Javi the Great in the house. Proud Ma. Neil, what's up?
Excuse me for 1 second, Tony.
Yep. Island of Dr. Island of Dr. Moreau. Good movie, good book. Island of Dr. Moreau says, you people are crazy. Theaters are doing great. I go every weekend and eat like a pig with my family. I love it. Yeah, I definitely, since I've owned AMC, have increased the amount of money that I spend on concessions. Look, I can eat lunch at home in my old self and then go get a medium popcorn, or I can skip lunch, go to a late afternoon movie and get an entire meal, burger and fries or pizza or a grilled chicken sandwich, and support my company. And the food's actually pretty good. So that's what I do. As far as, the theater's doing good, guys. I'm just, depending on the films that are showing, yes, the theaters are doing great, depending on the film. But we need more movies. We need more. We need more. And we will. Neil says Missing was a good movie. He watched it today. Thank you for that. Old Doge said, did I find out? Okay, let's talk about the lawsuit again. Did I find out if it is real? I read through the entire document, Old Doge. I saw that it was stamped, that it had been e-filed yesterday at 4 p.m. I presume that to be true. I've had a busy day. I have not gone in and checked the Delaware court docket to see if a case number has been assigned. If anybody has done that, let me know. I did read through all 42 pages of it. It looks like it was a mix between a kindergartner YouTuber and an attorney sat down in a room and he said, tell me all the conspiracy theories you got and I will write it out in legalese. That's what I read. I mean, they were coherent legal paragraphs, all of the points in there, but I disagree mightily with many of them based on my own understanding of AMC's regulatory filings and their articles of incorporation. And that's fine. I get it, guys. Hat tip to you. Not all of you agree with me. Welcome to the channel. It's okay to disagree with me. And many did yesterday on Twitter and in the comments here. Look, I'm not an attorney, but I have spent a lot of time looking at these documents, and I welcome the fact that there are legal minds involved now to put this to rest once and for all. The thing that worries me, not worries, but the thing that irritates me is the risk of this getting pushed out a year, due to the whole discovery and legal filings and yada, yada, yada. Savvy says, hope you didn't get too many hate tweets after co-hosting the space call. Let's talk about that space call for a second, Savvy. I got booted off of Ape Radio today, Mediocre. Guys, when I tell you that I am the most hated YouTuber out there, for all the people that say, you love Adam Aaron, you only love AMC, guys, I love facts. And I love them so much that I got booted off of Ape Radio. People were rolling on the floor crying, trying to shoot me through the phone on Ape Radio today because why? Because I dared to give two sides to an issue.
Really?
Yeah. Ask me what was the issue, Mediocre.
What was it?
The question was, oh, and by the way, I don't host space calls because I'm not popular. I don't. But Hedge, I love Hedge. I love the one. There's many people I respect out there that are bullish on this stock. He asked me, I was just listening like I always do when I have free time. He said, "Hey, Tony, I got to do something real quick. Would you mind co-hosting?" I was like, "Oh shit, this is not going to go well in my head." Yeah, I'll host, I'll co-host, which is fine, But then they started asking me questions, and I'm not going to lie. If you ask me a question, I'm always going to give you my honest opinion. One guy said, "Tony, what do you think the price of AMC and APE will be after the reverse split and they come together?" And like I always do, I gave two answers because there's two real opinions out there right now. And boy, they were coming at me with pitchforks. How dare you? How dare you have two answers? One answer, guys, is that John Merriweather has put out emails, and I've seen them, and I pray to God that he is correct. He's put out emails that said after a vote for yes and a reverse split and a conversion, the new price of AMC will be AMC plus APE. And they will all convert 1-to-1, which nobody disputes. They'll convert 1-to-1. But that is Mediocre. You've seen those emails, right?
I had them. Yes, I know for a fact they came from AMC because I have them. Yes.
The other answer, and I just bring this up to have honest discussion, not to have people come at me with pitchforks and throw what are those bottles full of fire?
Molotov cocktails.
Not to throw Molotov cocktails at my house, but just to be fair, as I always try and do. I'm not going to ignore that there are some people that have a different opinion about how the price of AMC and APE might be calculated, which would give you a lower price. And that is you add the two market caps up, AMC and APE, and you divide by the float. Like, look, there's two discussions going on right now. There might even be three. Yeah. So you can hate me all you want. You can kick me out of calls because I dare discuss that people have different opinions. I don't know who booted me, but Hedge says it wasn't him. So it was one of two other people. But guys, this is the play you're in. Like, no matter whether you love AMC or hate AMC, if you don't toe the line, if you don't say exactly what they want to hear, they're going to hate you. That is why I am equally hated by both sides, because I always try and be fair. Whether you agree with me or not, I'll try and always give you an honest answer.
I like getting the right information. I don't know. So for me, not that I disprove the spreadsheet, but I like the John Merriweather email. I hope it's accurate. It came from AMC, so I stand with that. That's just my opinion of it.
I have more APE than AMC, so I would love for John Merriweather to be correct, but I don't know how it's going to be calculated. I've seen good arguments for both. We'll find out in 4 weeks. Find out in 4 weeks. What is this? Neil says, Tony, what if you DRS a bunch of shares and therefore the denominator is much smaller? I'm looking at market cap divided by outstanding shares, Neil. So in using that formula as the alternate version 2, I don't think it would make a difference on DRS. Dream of Stuff says, what does your channel look like after AMC? Guys, I am not an AMC only channel. We talk about many tickers here in the Discord. We're doing all sorts of different plays. I was a trader long before I turned on YouTube. The reason I started doing this in July, no, I was not telling people to buy the run up in January through May. I love when the trolls come in. Tony, you made people buy at high prices. No, I'm here every day telling y'all, fuck plays if they're already running up. And I know Mediocre says the same thing. do not get into plays after they're already running. Or if you do, scale back your position to lower your risk, because you got to recognize that you're getting in late and take appropriate risk. When I hear someone saying, I loaded the boat, I mortgaged the house, I sold all my stocks and put them into GTII at the top of the run up, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I answer questions on my channel according to what people are asking. Now, right now, it happens to be a lot of AMC, but if you spend any time in my Discord or in this channel, there are many. My portfolio is broad. The questions that people ask me about are broad. After this play and the questions on AMC go away, then we'll be talking about everything else that I want to talk about, like how to help you guys not listen to clickbait, to see through the nonsense of people like Lou and Al, to get over the bullshit on Reddit, to develop a risk balanced portfolio and to scale your investments to the play accordingly so that you're not tied up in one play for 3 years hoping for something. Like, why am I so calm every day? Because AMC is one of many trades that I have.
Exactly.
That is common sense investing. I want to teach you guys responsible investing, not this YOLO bullshit.
Tony, how many conversations we have about other stocks? Like every Saturday, almost.
Every day.
We talk about everything. It's not only AMC. In my Discord, it's not only AMC. I mean, a lot of the people in my Discord are AMC, and we do discuss AMC like it's a big part of what we talk about. But ultimately it's about making money, right? And understanding what's going on. I don't know. I mean, I love AMC. I love to play. I love the ape community. It's not that I don't. It's just I don't let it consume me.
Yep. Blazin says, I can't wait for the day we never speak of AMC again. Hopefully we all get out of it in the green, Blazin, and then we can move on. I will probably, as long as the company's doing well, I'll always hold some position in it just because I like movies that much. There's some people that are gamers. I like movies, always have. And if there's something I can do to support a company, as long as it's financially performing well, if there is another squeeze, I will buy back in after I exit my position, take my profits, and always hold a little bit. But I'm not gonna. I did say on the Ape Radio call today, like, if there is a run up, whatever the price is, I think someone had just said, it's going to run to 300 this week by March 1st. And I was like, well, if it's running to 300, secure your bag. I think that made some of them mad too. Like, how dare you tell us to secure our bag? Well, I've been listening to you guys crying for 18 months, and I don't want to listen to it for 18 more. If you get a run up, at least please secure your bag. You want to let the rest ride for the moon. This is not financial advice, but it is kind of common sense, right? Take some of your heartache off the table. That to me seems a smart play. I don't have price targets, never have, never will share one. Not my job to tell you when to sell. But if there is a run up and you didn't sell because you believed Al told you it was going to 500,000 with absolute proof, then you can spend the next 18 months on his channel. But you can't talk to him because the comments are turned off. Sorry.
I don't know. I don't watch any of those people. I don't even know what to say. I'm good. I'm too busy.
Face says, I'll take 300. You know how many DMs I got? And I saw people, this guy Denaro just said to sell some of your shares if it runs to 300. Guys, I mean, I see people crying on YouTube that their wife's about to leave them. They're about to lose everything, making 10 videos a day, practically in tears, that this stock isn't squeezing. Motherfuckers, if you don't take some money, whatever it runs up to next time, I don't want to hear any more tears or crying. I don't know what it's going to go to. Hopefully it goes really, really high and all of our dreams come true. But be responsible on the way up.
Then they ask you, when's it going to go up? Is it going to go up before or after? I got no idea. I think we might get a run before, but there's no guarantee in any of that.
Yep. There's no guarantees, which is why in any play, whether it's Tesla, AMC, GameStop, there are no guarantees in anything. So I always say, if you're holding something more than a day or two, if you're a day trader, you don't need to pay attention to the management team or what anybody's saying or filings. Maybe you might want to see if there's a shelf offering. But, if you're in a play for a while, you ought to get to know the company. You ought to learn how to read financial statements so that you don't ask dumb questions like, where did all the money go?
Yeah.
It must be something illegal, mediocre. No, it's right there in black and white. Once a quarter, they put it out there for you to read it. Now, if you don't understand how to read it, tune in here and I'll give you a rundown. I'm happy to do that. But a lot of these crybaby people never read a financial statement and they don't watch my channel. So they are their own source of the problem. The only person to blame in that case is the one in the mirror. If you don't understand what's going on or why all of this vote and all of this shit is going on, it's because you don't take the time to understand anything about this play or the risk that the company is facing in 2023. And am I saying they're going bankrupt in 6 months? No, I'm not saying that. But a management team has a fiduciary responsibility to ensure the company has adequate liquidity and capital. And they are not going to sit by and let the cash get run down to 200 million because you are going to be mad that they sold Ape at 65 cents. They're going to do what they need to do. And if the no vote happens or no vote happens at all, guess what? You're going to have billions more Ape issued post haste soon. And you're going to be diluted the fuck out of your AMC position by AMC selling Ape for 65 cents. Then it'll go down to 60, then 50, and then 55, 40. Because they're just diluting. And that does affect your AMC shares, and it outmaneuvers all your votes in your carefully hodled AMC position. I hope you realize that.
Mm-hmm. I concur. I agree 100% with that statement. I don't know. It's crazy to me that.
MC, thank you, brother. I appreciate the support. Sufyan says, if you don't get your investment back after a new all-time high and end up bag holding, that is on you. Amen.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. It's crazy that we still have these conversations like this, though, after 2 years.
John says we need slow mode on. I have slow mode on. Did you turn it on your channel, Mediocre?
I did.
Okay. So I have mine set for 60 seconds, guys. But there's just a lot of people. There's a lot of people in the chat. So a lot of questions, a lot of comments, a lot of thoughts, a lot of emotions. I get it. That's what we're here for, to hear your questions, let you vent. What else you got?
I'm curious what they want to know. What they're feeling, I mean, I'm not worried, to be honest. I don't even let it faze me anymore, to be totally honest with you. And people ask me all the time, like, you're not concerned? No, I'm not concerned because I understand where I am, right? I don't have a high dollar cost average. I don't have a lot of things that some people have, right? But if you are one of those people, I would, I would ask you if you ever heard of website, called the Average Down Calculator, or something like that to do some research on your position, see if you can improve your position or not improve your position. Not that I'm giving financial advice. I'm just saying there's stuff out there that you could use to better your position and your stuff,
And if your answer is, but I don't have money to average down, then my answer was, if it's at all possible, get off the couch and go get a second job. Because guys, whether you're averaging down Amazon, Tesla, Walmart, Home Depot, or AMC or GameStop, whatever, right now in a recessionary, high inflation, risk off market falling period, this is the time you want to be stacking those bags, stacking that cash and putting it into equities, whether you got to wait a year or 10 years. This is the time to be working double time, overtime, 2 jobs, and loading up your investments because things are under pressure. Hey, it's Bobo's, and I've worked 3 jobs. 1, 2. I guess I worked a full-time job. I was going to school full-time, and I was in the military, in the reserve. So I've had no life for several years in my younger years. And so I'm not just coming from a position where I'm telling you to do something I haven't lived through it. I get it. It's no fun, and not all of you can do it, single parents and all that. I get it. But if you have the capability to go work anything, and that extra job is just to put to your investments, what an opportunity you have right now. Hey, it's Bobo says, you asked about raising capital. AMC should close low-performing theaters and sell Highcroft for instant cash. Those are 2 ideas, yes. They are closing theaters. I think the number that they've closed in the last 18 months is around 100. And I think they've added some new holdings, around 30 or so. I forget. It's in the annual report, guys. But when you have commercial leases, I don't know if you know this, I've had a few. You can't just walk away from a lease. The landlord will accelerate the lease if you try
you're
and break
paying
it.
either way.
If you walk away from a lease, they will accelerate the lease and call due every remaining dollar on that lease the day you break it. So there's no advantage to just walking away. I think that as leases come up, they are getting rid of low performing properties. And I know that because they've closed about 100 and they added around 30 something. And believe it or not, those 30 that they added are outperforming the sum of all of the 100 that they closed. That's how bad the 100 were. So they will continue to do that. I call that smart management. And unfortunately, the way leases work, unless the landlord is willing to just let you walk away, which in my experience, most of them aren't, they got to wait for the lease to be up. Grandpa Barney, what's up, amigo? Grandpa says, if a no vote, Adam Aaron sells 4 billion apes, then the shorts can take control of the board and we're really screwed. I mean, I don't know why that's so difficult for people to understand, Grandpa. I got to question their integrity, their ability to think 3 moves ahead. If the no vote wins or the vote gets taken off the table, guys, that the company is going to raise cash. And you know what the price of ape was 2 months ago. It's going right back there. And you will have more private placements or at the market offerings done to institutions who will fucking take the vote, and they'll redo the paperwork and they'll make it pass. So all you're doing is delaying the inevitable. If you can't see that, then you're really dumb or you are playing for the other side. And I mean that in the nicest way. Bless your hearts.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything illegal about it.
Joseph says, my only worry is a new virus. I mean, that is definitely, as an executive of the company, something that I'm sure they're worried about. And I'm sure it is also in the filings under the warnings and risks of investing in AMC. There's pages of them. And the unknown prospect of another pandemic is something that could bankrupt this company, in a matter of months. So they're not going to sit by Oh, but Tony, 500 million sounds just fine. They got plenty of money. Not if the country shuts down in 60 days. They don't. Your investment will go to zero if there's another pandemic.
Yeah, I don't think there's a way to save it if it happens again. I don't think the American people would allow something like that to happen again, but
hopefully not. But you know,
it
the
depends
American
on the
people,
circumstances.
the American people are not in charge of the government.
Exactly. Ain't that the truth?
Nancy said, "Do you know what the history of past reverse splits are?" Nancy, I did a video about a month ago, and I've talked out against reverse splits in general almost every week, almost every day in the Discord. Of course, I know what the history of past reverse splits are, but let me just say this, if you're still with me, most of the reverse splits that you guys look at are failing penny stocks, what I call trash.
I concur.
And these reverse splits are happening not because the company's trying to do something strategic. They're happening because the company is in a shambles and they're about to be delisted off the big board. And it is their last grasp at life to stay on the big board and buy themselves a few more months of life on the big board. And look, the stock was, those stocks were going to go down, reverse split or not. They were going to continue in a downward momentum. That you see the reverse split and it goes down, that's just a continuation of the downward momentum. They were already destined for the sewer. Go watch my video. Go watch my video from a month ago where I gave you 30 examples of companies the size of AMC that were not trash, failing penny stocks. And I had no idea when I made that video, when I started it, what the results would be. I gave you every single result. And I think you will be surprised if you can give yourself the honesty of watching that video for 5 minutes. If you still tell me that every reverse split goes down, then you're intellectually not being honest. And I know you're a penny stock trader.
Tell them about pink sheets, Tony. OTC. That's where they go to live the death life after they get booted off the New York Stock Exchange. I don't know. I don't see that for us. I don't think that's in our cards.
Nana says, please hit the like button for Mediocre. Guys, if you're watching on Mediocre's channel, be sure and smash that like button. I would appreciate the same as well.
Yeah. Smash the like buttons. What else we got in here?
What do I think about the OPEX theory? I had to think really hard. Anything goes. What the hell he was talking about? OPEX. It was like operating expenses happens once a month. What is he talking about? Because I watched one of his more recent videos, and then someone helped me figure out he was talking about options expiration.
Quad witching?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it can get spicy around options expiration. Absolutely. Right now, coming up in March 17th, I think that's the big one, right? Mediocre. There are so many puts and calls. It's just loaded. It's hard to say what's going to happen. Some people will tell you options will tell you what direction the stock's going to go. I kind of think like that tells you what people are betting that it's going to go, but it doesn't tell you a certainty, because those people buying puts, for example, don't know what card up the sleeve Adam Aaron might have dropping on February 28th at the meeting. They could all get routed if the news is better than expected, or there's some additional announcement. And to be honest, if you were betting against AMC with puts and then a lawsuit comes in, you're going to get fucked. This lawsuit is going to kill all those AMC puts, because intentional or not, as long as the vote is in question, APE will go down and AMC will go up. So you could see some of those put buyers getting burned between now and March 17th.
I just think it's suspicious. You know that this lawsuit had to be drawn up when the proxy came out. They had to be talking about it then. It just didn't happen overnight.
The lawsuit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, that document took some work. And then it got leaked to some people. I'm not going to name names, but you saw who was putting out the exact same content yesterday. It's not a coincidence, in my opinion, that these guys were pushing the same talking points the night before the lawsuit dropped to the public. Trying to catch up on the chat here.
No problem. I'm trying to read it and follow along.
Mediocre, do you know what time the threshold list updates? Is it 9 p.m.?
I don't know. I don't really check it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, guys, I know there's a lot of people excited about the threshold list. I've talked about it many, many times on this channel and recently in the Discord. It's something that I think is an interesting item. I don't attribute all the importance to the threshold list that you see on Reddit and Twitter or even some YouTube channels. I've seen stocks sit on the threshold list for months, sometimes many months. And if you understand how you get on there and how it gets extended, then you might be like me and not be so excited about it. But once you're on it, once someone has a fail that crosses the threshold and gets them on the list, once you're on there for day one, you're on there for 5 days. If anybody else fails, even if it's on the 5th day, add 5 more days. Every time someone has a fail, even if the people before them fixed it, add 5 more days.
Yeah.
So you could, if the stock is hard to borrow and people are either fixing it, kicking it down the road, this guy had a problem, he fixed it, then that guy had a problem a few days later, you could be on the threshold list for a long time. And unfortunately, we don't see the level of detail to say that the first guy was on there 13 days or 35 days. This could be multiple parties, each one kicking at 5 days by virtue of when they got added. So since I can't see that detail, I say, yeah, that's interesting. I already know cost to borrow is high. I know it's hard to borrow. I expect it to be on the threshold list. But those are all indicators of a problem. I don't expect miracles just because of the threshold list or plus 13 days, plus 35 days, just based on experience, watching too many of them do nothing.
They don't ever do nothing. I hate that all the information we get is always late information, right? We don't ever get any up-to-date information. It's always late information. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and that's a problem. That's what I would like to see change. If we get any change in the market, that would be one of the main things I would like to see get changed. That, and I'd like to get rid of T+2.
That would be nice. Doge Cult member says, what was the reason for the run-up today? The lawsuit, in my opinion. The lawsuit putting the vote into question made APE go down and AMC go up. Because if there's no vote, if there's no conversion, you're going to see AMC move back up and you're going to see APE drop down below $1. So uncertainty was added into the equation today and the two tickers moved accordingly. Sure. All right. Thank you.
H.G. Wells says, I would like to see blockchain settlement instant. And I agree with you. That would be nice. But I don't know that they would do that because, well, they can't play their game if they did that. That's just my opinion of it.
Blazin says, are there any blue chips I want to call out? Not on this video, not on this live stream, Blazin. I mean, you guys can Google what the blue chips are. You know what they are, but I will make a video specifically about them. I've got a watch list over here on my screen. with a bunch of the blue chips that I'm watching. But look, if you're looking for a blue chip stock, you want a large market cap company that's been around for decades, that has a history of positive earnings and increasing revenues. It's really that simple. If you get one that pays a dividend, some of you may want to add that as an additional sorting criteria. But yes, I'll do a video specifically on that. AMC Machine says, what are the odds? Thank you for the $5, friend. What are the odds the vote gets canceled due to the potential lawsuit? I mean, it's definitely, I don't know what the odds are. That depends on the merits of the argument. In my unprofessional, unattorney opinion, many of the arguments that were made are frivolous. There was one thing in there that I saw that was new that I haven't looked into. So I'll do that tonight or tomorrow. There's a lot of ways that the lawsuit could get thrown out. Like they filed it as a class action lawsuit. There's numerous tests you got to go through to see if it can proceed as a class action. That's one way it could get thrown out. And if it passes all those tests and the judge lets it move forward, then you get into the merits of the arguments from the plaintiff. So look, I'm not an attorney, but I have played one on TV.
That was a good one, Tony. I like it. No, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I only seen two things in there, but I didn't really read too much into it. The first thing being that Adam Aaron didn't retain his fiduciary duty, which I don't see how you figure that, but okay. And the second one was what I said about the class action lawsuit. Like, who are you to file a class action lawsuit? How many retail did you get to sign that, right? I mean, I don't understand it. I'm not on that list. I didn't say, hey, let me sign your class action lawsuit. I'm not exactly sure how that works either, but just my point.
Someone wants me to check a DM on Twitter. Oh boy, do I want to look at Twitter DMs right now? Let's see. Irishman, do you have a different name on Twitter?
Randy says, I'm not a lawyer, but I did sleep at a Holiday Inn last night.
At the end of the day, guys, whatever happens with the lawsuit, I'm just going to say, if people had concerns, I understand your concerns. I said last night, if you got concerns, you ought to go sit down with an attorney and see if they have merit. Now, unfortunately, attorneys are going to say, oh, yeah, this has merit. You got $5,000 for a retainer, $10,000 because it's a federal case, maybe $25,000, and they will write up your case and submit it. Where it goes from there really depends on, the defendant's arguments. So we'll see. But if people had concerns, the right thing to do is for them to air it out through the legal process. So it is inconvenient. It's not really unexpected. When I see armchair Twitter attorneys going through SEC filings and trying to make an argument, I know something's up. They were being fed information from somebody. So not really surprising. It is inconvenient. We'll find out what happens. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Could it delay the vote? Yes, possibly.
Mitch, I want to thank you. I seen you pop in here. Thank you for the emails, the John Merriweather emails. Tony and I both appreciate you. And thanks for watching.
Can we sue the people that filed the lawsuit?
I'd like to.
Thank you, Addie. Addie says you look good with the hat.
My buddy Rolf, he was not happy today when he seen that.
Seen what? The lawsuit?
Yeah. He don't usually lose his cool, but he was upset today.
Yeah, I mean, I guess depending on what weighting is between APE and AMC, it's going to, it's going to negatively affect you. What would it mean if it had merit? If the class is certified by the judge, and then the judge will look at the plaintiff's claims and see if they are reasonable, then it goes either to arbitration or trial from there.
Well, they might do the discovery too.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at some of Allegheny County's cases. They are kind of sue happy. This is not the only case they have. They are in discovery against Energy Transfer LP. They've been in discovery fighting over that for, I think, about a year. The defendant, Energy Transfer, supplied them like 100,000 pages of documents, and they said that's still not enough. Who knows how long this whole thing could stretch out. Someone said, what are your thoughts on crypto tanking? I haven't looked at it since this morning. It's 24,100 on Bitcoin. Not really tanking in my book. If we go back down to 15,000 and below, that's tanking from here. Okay, AMC Bigfoot. I see your DM. He says, Tony, there are people that are complaining about losing 90% of their shares. Here is a scenario. If I had 500 shares and the squeeze happened and I sold at $12,000 a share, I would end up with $6 million. Now, say I have 500 AMC and 500 APE, I'd have 100 shares and it went to 12,000, you'd only make 1.2. Yes, I agree.
That's dilution though.
Yeah, but in people that use that kind of math are neglecting. Here's just what I'm going to say, not to make an argument, but when I think in terms of a stock moving like a Tesla or a Berkshire, I think in terms of what is the percentage movement per day. What does AMC typically move in terms of percentage on a day? If you tell me it moves, I'm going to make up a number for easy math. If you tell me, Tony, on a typical day, AMC moves 10%, I'm going to tell you that after a reverse split or a split, it's still going to move 10% on a day. And the relative price movement is going to be reflected. Why is that? Because the float is changing in a split or a reverse split. Retail gets very stuck on this stock can only go up 50 cents a day. No, Wall Street does not think that way, and you are not the majority of what is making this stock move right now. Institutions are. If AMC is going to move 10% before the split or after, it's going to be 50 cents today, $5 tomorrow.
Now, here's the other thing, Tony, that I think people are failing to understand is on conversion, AMC gets diluted. Just by
I'm talking like not counting dilution, right?
Right.
I'm talking if nothing else changed, the percentage moves will have a bigger effect up or down, but if it was typically moving 10% a day, it's still going to move 10% after. Wall Street isn't saying I don't want to spend $30. I'd rather only spend $3. No. They know that the float is lower, guys. They don't think like you do.
Right. The stock's easier to move anyways.
Yes, with a lower float, it's easier to move. So now, Mediocre, talk about the dilution.
Yeah, on conversion, you're getting AMC is getting diluted because we've been diluting APE. You have more shares of APE than you have AMC. When you put them together, that's dilution. That's number one. And so yeah, you're going to feel that in the price of after reverse split a little bit, but I think it's going to be fine. I don't see it as a problem. I don't think reverse split is an issue at all.
Justin says, where's Massalorian been? I traded text with him this weekend. I tried calling him. He texted me back and said he'd call me back as soon as he got home. And then he never called me back. And I saw that he had a live stream scheduled that night. Did he end up doing the live stream? I went and looked and I couldn't find it. So I don't know. I don't know what he's up to. I think he might be stacking some fat bags of cash right now, working a job. Michael says, why do I have a red mark? If you're looking at the chat here in Restream, the red mark, it just shows where people are joining us from, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, Rumble. Depending on where you're joining from, you'll have a little icon. This is streaming out to multiple different platforms right now.
You stream to Rumble? I was trying to figure that out.
Have I seen what?
You stream to Rumble? I was trying to figure that out.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass to stream to Rumble, though, honestly.
I could tell.
They don't give you a dedicated stream key. You got to go. It's only a couple minutes of work, but it shouldn't be that hard. Raz says there's no logical way losing 90% of your shares is positive. I mean, if that's the only thing you're looking at, if you're willfully ignoring the decrease in the float, I understand where you're coming from, but I would say that is foolish to ignore a 10x decrease in the float. We're hunting low float plays every fucking day. Why? Why, guys? Open your fucking mind. Why are we hunting low float plays? Because they move easier and faster. It is hard to move AMC with 500 million shares or
harder it is
$1.5
to
billion.
move, period.
It is hard to move it. It takes, I don't know. I mean, if you don't get that, I don't know what to say. But all that being said, once they start diluting again to raise money, then the equation starts changing more in your direction. But if you just say reverse split, I don't like it because I'm losing 90% of my shares, and you don't tell me, and I also, if you neglect to talk about the float, I'm going to say you're being purposely or accidentally intellectually dishonest with
Tony,
me,
I got a
with
question
Mediocre, and with yourself.
Listen, when these investors are in these Twitters and wherever they're getting their information from, I don't know, and they're playing these penny stocks, do they not know that they're playing low float stocks? I mean, seriously. I just don't, it doesn't make sense to me. Low float stocks move because the float is small.
If you want to make an argument to me where I can say, yes, I agree with you, do not fucking tell me I don't want to lose 90% of my shares. Say, Tony, I'm worried about dilution. Then I will say, you should be. That's a valid concern. But if you come at me and say, I don't want to lose 90% of my shares, I'm going to murder you with math because you are being intellectually dishonest or you're being misled. A split or a reverse split changes nothing. It's the same fucking math. Let's talk about dilution if you want to hear what should be concerning. And I'll tell you again, when you bring that up, I'm going to say, I agree with you. But no matter how you vote, dilution is coming. And I want you to hear me on that too, because the people that are pushing the no vote are not talking about the ape dilution and how billions more shares, billions more votes will be given to institutions for under $1. And your $5, $6, $8, $10 AMC, you're going to be handing free votes over to institutions for pennies on the dollar. And this is the discussion, the honest, fair, two-sided, open discussion of everything that you are not getting anywhere else. People have an agenda. They're going to tell you what they want you to hear for their position. I just want you to know the truth and you make your own decision. I don't care how you vote.
So I hate dilution. Anybody who knows me knows I hate dilution.
Me too. I make videos against dilution all the time on different tickers.
We don't have a choice. That's the problem.
Yes.
We're going to get diluted one way or another because if we don't, we lose everything. That's the bottom line. That's what people don't understand. If AMC runs out of money, we're done. That's the real problem. And if you don't see that, I don't know what to say.
Irishman says, you have to admit you're losing money because of losing shares. Irishman, if you have 10 $1 bills and I take them from you and give you one $10 bill, did you lose any money? That is a 1 for 10 split. The simple answer is no, you did not lose any money. But if the U.S. Treasury doubles the float of dollars out there, you're going to lose some money to inflation. That is dilution. That's why you should be more worried about dilution, whether it's AMC or APE. You should be much more worried about dilution than a reverse split. It's the same fucking math. And you are not getting out of dilution, no matter how you vote. It's coming your way in 2023 to
That's
AMC.
true.
What is the solution? The solution is either a catalyst that no one is expecting happens. The company reins in cost, gets some other revenue streams out there, or something, a partnership, something that someone's not expecting to kick off a catalyst. Some people are hoping for a market crash to wreck the collateral of short hedge funds. Maybe that, look, there's all sorts of potential catalysts. Or the other option is waiting till 2024. If no catalyst happens, waiting for the company to get profitable and hopefully raise enough money to fix the balance sheet. Because the number one reason we have a target on our back right now, just like many of these penny stocks, is our balance sheet is a bit of a mess. And people don't understand that because they don't look at financial statements, but I do. And I will tell you the truth. It's a bit of a mess. You might have heard we have $5 billion in debt.
Tony, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What could AMC do for shareholders if they were profitable and making money quarter after quarter?
Issue a dividend.
And what would that do, Tony?
That would generally not force, but it will encourage some shorts to cover. The company can get profitable in 2024 and issue a dividend. Then if you're short, you have to pay that dividend, whether it's a stock dividend or a cash dividend. But I understand some of y'all don't have the patience to hang out in this play till 2024. Well, next time, choose more wisely, because you got to recognize what you bought. And all of us made our own decision to hold, and things don't always work out on the timeline that we want. Were you trying to lead me to say an answer, Mediocre?
Yeah, you nailed it. I mean, shit, you said dividend.
You set me up.
You said what I preach every day. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the bottom line. I know it sucks that people don't want to hear it, and it might take time to get there. Number one, you ain't getting there without dilution. Period. But you want to recoup that money that you're going to lose on dilution, you might as well stick it out. And I'm not financial advice, but I've been doing a lot of dividend plays lately. People who know me know that too.
A lot of people in my Discord are asking me, what are you buying right now, Tony? Are you buying AMC or APE? Since the vote got put on the table, I'm not really buying anything. Why? Because of uncertainty about a lawsuit being filed, uncertainty about what is the price going to be when they're combined. There's, as we talked about in the beginning of this, there's multiple different theories that people have, depending on who you're listening to, what the price will be. I have my idea, but I loaded up, guys, on APE. In addition to all the AMC and APE I already had, I loaded up on APE as it went down, closer to $1. The more lower it went, the more I added. So I'm good. And I don't want AMC and APE to be overweighted in my overall portfolio. So due to the uncertainty, I'm just sitting pat. By uncertainty, what I want you to hear is what 4-letter word that starts with the R? Risk. I don't know what's going to happen. And today was a good case in point about that uncertainty and that risk. If you had sold all your APE a few weeks ago and loaded up on, if you had sold all your AMC and loaded up on APE, you just got screwed today. That's why I've been doing nothing since they proposed the vote. I'm just going to sit and wait, see what happens, see what the earnings looks like on February 28th, and play it accordingly.
I've been playing other plays. I won't lie.
Yeah, I mean that's what we do.
I see you, Portuguese. What's up, buddy? Yeah, I've been doing a lot of stuff like I've been playing Ford a lot, to be honest. I got some Ford shares. I've been selling contracts against it, for a price I can live with if it gets exercised on. So I do stuff like that, playing some other stocks. I follow Congress stuff, some other dividend plays, stuff like that.
Thomas says, what is your estimate about how much cash needs to be raised to destroy the debt? That is a great question, Thomas. I have a couple different answers for you. Hopefully you guys don't boot me out of my own show for giving you a couple of options, like what happened to me on APE Radio. How dare you provide us with alternate outcomes? Guys, I'm always strategizing, gaming multiple outcomes because nothing is guaranteed. I never just think that the optimal outcome is happening. I think about multiple outcomes. That way I can gauge the risk or the percentage chance of each one happening. But I just, and Mediocre, I want to hear your thoughts on this too. I think that at a minimum, the company probably wants $1 billion in cash in the bank, cash, to get through this year. And then beyond that, depends on if the vote happens, if we're diluting with AMC or APE, how much they're able to raise. APE is going to be really inefficient. If this vote gets tabled, it's going to be really inefficient. And they're not going to be able to pay off any debt. The target is going to be on our back. The shorts will be emboldened. But if they were able to sell some AMC after a yes vote at a much higher price and get more than $1 billion in cash, then they could pay off some of the debt, potentially. They could use that money for strategic acquisitions if Cineworld goes bankrupt, or they could pay off some of the debt, or if it was a home run, they could pay off all the debt. I don't know, a lot of financial advisors or CPAs will tell you carrying some debt is good. Right now, I think that conserving cash is the priority. If I was in the executive suite, having adequate cash reserves and capital is the very first priority to survive this year, see how things go, get closer to a profitable quarter. But if they hit a home run on an equity raise after a yes vote, I think that they would pay down some of the debt and take advantage of the ability right now, as we've seen in the last few months, to pay off some of that debt at a discount. These lenders want cash right now, and they want to get out from under those bonds that are cratering in value. So that's, there's an opportune time right now to pay off some of that debt. Some or all, I don't know. What do you think, Mediocre?
No, I have to agree. I don't think he needs all the money. He don't need $5 billion. I think he could do it with $1 billion, get it done. Just the sheer fact that he can dump if he needs, more shares if he needed. But I don't think that he's going to need to do that, right? But just the fact of him having the availability to put more shares out there will, I think, stop short selling against the company, right? But he only needs to be able to get enough money to get us to 2024 and restructure the debt that we already have. If he can do both of those things, I think we're in good shape.
Want to be comedian. Mediocre, I'm going to let you take a stab at this one since I'm blabbing so much tonight. I got it. I got an answer for it, but I'm going to let you go first this time.
All right, let's see. Serious question. Why will AMC squeeze after paying off debt? Jimmy ain't squeezed and they debt free. Why you gotta put me on a spot like that?
I'm gonna follow you up with an honest answer, but we're here to speak truth.
Okay. So here's the truth. Now, I own 0 GameStop. I don't hate GameStop. I don't hate GameStop people. But to me, and this is my opinion, and don't shoot me for it. You asked, I'm going to give it to you. I personally don't think that GameStop is a fundamental play for the simple fact it's a brick and mortar store. They lost their Xbox contract. There's, so they're making money. They're not in debt. Their debt's paid off, but they're paying rent on these properties, and they need to be able to sell something. That's the problem, right? And I know games are the thing, right? But they had a contract that Xbox would not put the games out for the digital download until a certain date, so that they could be sold in the store. A disc could be sold in the store. They own that right. They don't have that anymore. That's my personal opinion of it, right? So that alone cuts down their revenue. And that's pretty much the only reason why. And I'll let you take it over.
I'm just going to throw a couple things up here for GameStop. This is their earnings per share, guys, quarterly. I know there are GameStop channels out there telling you proof GameStop is profitable. This is the real data. This is not some GameStop fanatic feeding you full of hopium. How many quarters is that they've been negative mediocre? All the way back to 2017. This is not a profitable company. First of all, that's why they're being targeted by shorts. That's why the price is being beaten down. Secondly, if you look at the revenue on a quarterly, let's look at the revenue on an annual basis. And I own GameStop, by the way. I'm long on GameStop. Here is the revenue. You can see that they are a declining revenue company, not just declining from 2020, but declining since 2015. They're closing stores. They've cut down overtime on their staff. That's not because they want to give their staff more time with their families. I heard that. Nice story, bro. Not true. I've worked for corporations, guys. When overtime gets cut, it's because the company is struggling and trying to fix the income statement and get profitable. People are complaining bitterly that store managers are being laid off, that employees, first level store managers are being laid off. The remaining ones are being handed multiple stores to try and juggle with minimal to no pay increase. All of this is because this company is losing money and they are trying to fix it, which I applaud. They're doing the right things, but there's a cost that's being paid. The number of stores is decreasing dramatically. The number of distribution centers is closing. All of it in a cost-cutting effort to get profitable. So are they doing the right things? Yes. But you asked, why is the price going down? Why are the shorts not off their back? It's not just debt. You got to, if you do this same comparison of earnings per share for AMC, it's going up from 2020. It's going back to where it was in 2018, 2019. If you look at our earnings per share and our revenue, they're climbing. This is a completely different story in GameStop. And if you don't see that, I'm sorry. Debt is not the only thing that Wall Street is looking at. It's not the only thing that shorts are looking at. It's a multifaceted analysis of the future and the financials of a company. That being said, I do own a little bit of GameStop on the off chance that Ryan Cohen comes up with some transformational change to get the company beyond brick and mortar. Because if he does not, they will be going the way of Bed Bath & Beyond in about what do you figure? How much cash they got? How much cash they got left? Eight quarters, maybe, if nothing changed, if they didn't get profitable.
I'll tell you guys, I don't know how many they got left, but I got a story for you guys about GameStop. You know, I got two boys. And when they were younger, they're both adults now, but when they were younger, Call of Duty was a big thing. I'm sure you all know that. And you used to get extra stuff to go buy it at GameStop, so you didn't do digital downloads, right? And so even if it was a Wednesday night, for example, if it was the next day for Call of Duty or whatever it was to come out, me and my kids would go stand in line, and I would let them not go to school the next day on every release like that so that they would get the experience and all that. But that ain't happening anymore. That's another thing, right? Like those days are kind of gone. There's a lot of reasons why, but those are a few that I can see.
Yeah, that doesn't mean we're bearish on GameStop. Like I said, I'm long on GameStop. I own stock for
I like the company
for a transformational announcement only. The pluses on GameStop right now is they're flush on cash and they have no debt. No argument for me there. If that is another reason that I feel comfortable holding it right now. But if the question you asked me is why are they being beaten down, it's because revenues and earnings are going the wrong direction, and they have not yet announced a transformational plan. When they do, you're going to see that when and if they do, you'll see the stock shoot up. If they do not, it's going to continue bleeding out.
But because of the community, I don't trade GameStop at all. Like I won't catch a run up or run down. I don't touch it. I just leave it alone because I don't want to interfere with that. But that's
I'm hopeful that their Q4 is a great quarter and shows some turnarounds. We'll know We'll know in a few weeks, and I'll give it a fair assessment at the time. I hope it's fantastic. Like I said, I own it in the 20s, in the low 20s. So we'll see. Anya says, didn't the Antara deal guarantee a yes vote? Yes. If the vote comes to fruition, Anya, Antara will be voting yes.
But I don't think it guaranteed a yes vote. That depends on retail has to vote with them. But if they don't get the vote, they're just going to do it again. They're going to dilute AMC or APE, and they're going to go for another vote. Another proxy will come out.
All right. Steve says, does cost to borrow fee go by what the fee was the day the stock was borrowed, or does it change daily and existing fees will go up or down? I'm not a shorter, Steve, so I don't know that I can answer the question. Steven, just another ape. Do you want to chime in? Or Blazin or anybody? We have a few people that short different stocks in my Discord. I have never shorted a stock, so I don't know.
I don't short sell either. I don't have a margin account. You need a margin account to short sell something I'm not interested in.
Yuka says, are you in another room? No, I think Yuka, you're just used to seeing just the zoomed in view. So that behind me is a big limestone wall. On the other side of that wall is the wood burning fireplace. Well, it's wood burning with gas, and the living room. Big ass stone fireplace right in the middle of the house.
That's got to be nice when it gets cold.
We put it to use here a couple months ago. It was hot here today. I heard my good friends over at Ape Radio this morning talking about walking through the snow. And I'm like, I'm almost sweating here today. You notice I don't have long sleeve shirt on, no vest. It was 83 degrees here today. Crazy. We go from 31 degrees, and 2 weeks later, it's 83.
Did you show everybody your shirt yet or what?
No? Can you read it?
Yeah, it says, sorry for the mean, awful content things. I can't read it.
Sorry for the mean,
No.
awful.
Accurate things I've said. That's what it says. I
Yeah.
thought it said content.
Sorry for the mean, awful, accurate things I've said. I understand, guys. I'm not easy to listen to. It's tough listening to a non-hopium channel. But my goal is whatever play you're stuck in, especially if you made the mistake of loading the boat. If you're comfortable with that, then that is fantastic. But I'm seeing a lot of people cry and whine and bitch and worry because they put everything into one play, a company which was, in 2020, a financial disaster. And I did the same, hoping for a short squeeze. And we got one, and then it came down. And I thought for sure we'd get another. But then the recession and high interest rates hit. So now people that were hoping for a short squeeze became unintentional long-term investors. That's all fine if you're in a position like me where it's not your only investment. But I want to, even though it's not fun to hear the truth sometimes, I want to help you guys get a more rational view on investing to diversify the risk in your portfolio. I do a lot of gambling plays every week, but I can tell you for a fact that the scale of what I'm buying is not 50 or 100% of my portfolio on some penny stock that's running up 100%. Or some squeeze play. I play a lot of them, but I'm not risking, a majority of my account on one play. That is just not good risk management. It's too easy to get wiped out, or it's too easy to fall into depression and despair and have your entire portfolio stuck for years. And I don't want to see that happen to you.
Pull up Super Steven's comment.
All right, Super Steven. Let me find him here. This one?
Yeah.
Mediocre. How do you not go all in on AMC? Everyone I know was YOLO and mediocre.
I don't know.
When I hear people say that, I either want to slap them or give them a hug. I don't know which. Both come to mind. Like, it is really irritating to me what Lou and Matt and Trey were doing to people in May and June of 2021. Really irritating. Encouraging. And Reddit, like, it's useful to know what is going on. It's useful to identify plays, but you cannot YOLO. You can YOLO everything on a Reddit play, but if you get stuck, I don't want to see 10 videos from you a day crying about it that a year later you're still down.
You mean you didn't YOLO in AMC?
Fuck no. I bought some shares at $7 to $8, and I bought some options, some call options close to the money when it was $7 to $8. And I sold those call options as it ran to 70, and I made a fucking mint. And all my shares essentially now that I'm carrying are free. That is how you play things smart. But, I wasn't here to tell people that back then. And I would have. I talk about it every week in other plays in the Discord, how to manage risk, how to not overcommit, how to identify when things are topping out, how to have an exit strategy before you ever buy, so that if it does not work out, you can punch the eject button and wait. If you really love the company, wait for it to come down and buy in after it drops down.
I mean, I always kind of looked at it as a fundamental play. What is the price I'm pretty sure I could get out at? and it was always 20, 25, $30, somewhere in that range. And I'm well below that, you know? And so for me, it's like, but I knew better, you know what I mean? I wasn't going to jump in. I don't know. I'm not saying I understand people didn't want to miss out. That's FOMO. You know, that's what we talk about.
Yes, I hear so many YouTubers mediocre. You hear them say it. Guys, don't invest more money than you're willing to lose. They just roll it off their tongue, but I wish they would say that really slow. I'm going to say, do not invest more money than you're willing to lose. And if you're on YouTube or Twitter crying 10 times a day, making videos, you know, breaking everybody else's heart because you're now upset, then you spent more than you were willing to lose. You did not adequately assess the risk. And that is fine. I get it. A lot of people were new to investing. A lot of people got caught up in the emotion, the mania. They just watched what happened with GameStop. I get it. That did not faze me. None of that fazed that did not make me willing to, or more likely to YOLO my life savings into AMC, because I've been doing this a long time. I've seen a lot of plays not work out. So what we teach here is how to be cold-blooded, emotionless, see through the noise, manage your risk, and hope that on a couple of those plays that you have a small percentage of your portfolio on, that you get a out of the ballpark home run, because some of them you will, but some of them you're going to lose on. So that's why you manage risk and diversify. Ron says, that's funny. I was listening to all those guys when I first heard Tony, and I didn't like him because he didn't give me hopium. Yeah, now all those guys have disappeared or changed their story. And meanwhile, I've been consistent the entire time.
Tony, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
How many retail investors in AMC you think took the time in the past 2 years to actually learn what's going on in the market?
Almost none. I've got 19,000 subscribers, 500,000 tune in to live streams, a percentage of 19,000. Now, in terms of what's going on with the shenanigans and the illegality and how dark pools work and hedge funds, people have learned a lot, right? We've learned a lot about the market plumbing. Very few people have learned how to properly invest. What do you think?
I think you're right. I mean, it's sad, and I'm not laughing at people, but you know, I try to show people technical analysis on a daily basis. I really do, right? Like if you want to learn, I'll show you. You know.
Someone said, what did we learn? That the market is corrupt. Yes, the market is corrupt, guys. There are shorts and naked shorts and synthetics, whatever you want to call it. The hedgies, the shorts have all the data. We got none of it. We get delayed short interest reports. Like nothing is stacked in our favor. Not a single fucking thing.
Nope.
If you want to YOLO your life savings into a play knowing that everything is stacked against you, if you are right, you will come out like a bandit. But recognize the percentage chance of us being right, and recognizing that the percentage chance is small. Allow yourself some time for the play to develop.
I really want people to learn, to be honest, you know.
Well, I had a second thought where I was going with that, but I forgot what I was going to say. I need to hit the rewind button. Anyways, it all comes down to, yes, learn how the market works. Oh, I know where I was going with it. Recognize the field that you are playing on. I've heard some other people say this, and I applaud them. Learn to play with the bad guys. That does not mean you get in and you short stocks. That's not what I'm saying. but recognize what they're doing. And both the shorts and the CEOs, I make a lot of people mad when I say this. I do not trust one fucking CEO.
I
Not
changed my
Genius,
Discord channel.
not Genius, not Created, not Ryan Cohen. Look what he did to Bed Bath & Beyond. Not even Adam Aaron. No, I'm not being paid by Adam Aaron. I don't trust any of them, but I do trust them to do one thing.
What's that?
To take care of their company.
Yeah.
I trust
changed
them
the
to
name of my Discord, Tony.
I trust them to make decisions to ensure the future of their company. And you might get screwed some of the time. They might tell you something that might be a little bit leading. Is that the nice way to say it, Mediocre?
Yes.
For you to interpret. Now they're covered because they said something entirely within the scope of the law, but you interpreted it how you wanted to hear it. Everyone asked me, Tony, what do you think he meant by checkmate? I think that he meant they're probably not going bankrupt. But Tony, don't you think he meant the shorts must cover and it's going to $1 billion? No, I think he realizes he's got an infinite money printing tool through Ape, and it might be inefficient, and he might have to sell it really cheap, and that will screw you over. But he's going to be fine. Company's not going bankrupt. Look,
Tony, isn't it true the only way to make money in the market is to follow the big guys?
That is the smart way to make money. Look, you can have these outlier plays, short squeezes. I look for them all the time. We talk about them all the time in small groups, in the Discord, on this live stream. There's all sorts of short squeeze plays. Some of them pay off, some of them don't. So you just got to gauge your risk accordingly. Think how many people are getting just bankrupted right now with Bed Bath & Beyond because they went all in on that and they couldn't get beyond the hopium. I still have people arguing with me about it daily. The other thing that I was going to say, that the rules, you got to understand what you got to understand the way shorts look at things so that you can be fair in analyzing the play for yourself so that you make the best decision. That understanding what they're looking at, understanding the financials, like what we just walked through on GameStop. If you can't understand what I said about GameStop, why it potentially could be negative, then you have a long ways to go to becoming a lifelong investor that is going to rack in profits every month or every year. If you can't understand why they're shorting GameStop, even though it has no debt. The other thing, that is against us is these CEOs, every single one of them. Adam Aaron, Jeremy Frommer, Roger James Hamilton. What are they doing? They are all telling you what you want to hear. Meanwhile, off to the side, without really talking about it, what they're really doing is improving their balance sheet. Now, you can play the momentum if you're in watching this channel and watching what I'm telling you about Roger Hamilton and Jeremy Frommer. They are doing some smart things for their company in the long run that may pay off. But in the short term, they are harming retail investors. They're talking up a game to you to get people to buy up these stocks and run the price up so that the institutional investors that hold all the warrants and the convertible debt can unload them on you. You wonder why these things aren't running? It's not because they're being shorted. It's because the institutions that own the warrants and the convertible debt are unloading it to you. And I've shown the dilution chart so many times, tired of doing it. The floats are increasing dramatically on these stocks.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys need money. So they're diluting. And on the back end, the institutions are unloading debt for shares, convertible debt, and they're executing warrants. All three of those are dilution. I don't hear anybody talking about that except me. Maybe a couple people are, but it's because I don't trust any CEO. I appreciate what they're doing, every single one of them. I understand what they're doing. They're improving their balance sheet. They're not your friend. There's zero evidence for any of those companies that they're barely even shorted by any legal report by any useful source of exchange reported data. Now they can say they're billions of shares shorted, and maybe in a couple of years, the legal process will show that they are. I hope it does. In the meantime, that's their word. You can believe it. I'll check with you in 6 months or a year, and we'll find out who is right. But I don't believe them. I think they're saying what you need to hear to buy their stock. You're lapping it up. They're improving their balance sheet. Maybe eventually, that will improve the company if they can grow their income. And what was as the price runs up, the CEO handbook. As the price runs up, CEO handbook says, if you have a shelf offering available, sell shares into a price run up. You've seen that on AMC. You see it on all these penny stocks. Chapter 2 says, if you don't have a shelf offering or at the money already filed, as soon as the price starts running, while everyone's asleep, drop one overnight. How many plays have you guys been in where you wake up and a stock is down 40%, a penny stock, because they dropped an offering on you? What is this? And all the YouTubers who pump this penny stock bullshit. Guys, I don't know. I didn't see this coming. It was bullish last night, but now we're fucked. No, you should have seen it coming because it's so fucking predictable. It's in the CEO handbook, chapter fucking 2. You better learn to start predicting that shit.
So, yeah, I mean, it's true. And if you're going to enter a play, you're better off following the big dogs, right? So I purposely changed my Discord name, and I want to tell you, I changed it to Monkey See, Monkey Do, which means we're going to follow the big people, the people who move the market, right? I'm not going to sit here and whatever. But it was Ape Life, and I changed it to Monkey See, Monkey Do for that reason.
So essentially what you're saying is you're following momentum.
Correct.
Who's got a problem with someone following momentum? Let me know in the chat if you hate momentum traders. Let me know if you hate making money. Raise your hand in the chat.
I mean, that's the only way to go.
Someone's asking again, where is Massalorian? I called him this weekend. He texted me back and said he was going to call me back, and then he never did. So I'm assuming he's busy or working his ass off.
Larry, you're right. It does go down, and I go whatever way it wants to go. I don't care.
Steven says BBBY got some momentum. Yeah, BBBY is experiencing what we call a reverse squeeze, Steven.
I'm doing good in BBBY.
Why? Because you're buying puts?
I have puts, baby. The puts.
Yeah. We're having a contest in the Discord. It's being run by Blazin. I don't know if he's still here. Wave your hand in the chat, Blazin, if you're still here. But we're doing a paper trading contest for the month of February in the Discord. And I've since I don't have a lot of experience, none, shorting stocks, I said, I'm going to spend the month of February in this paper trading contest shorting stocks just to learn on a paper trading account. And BBBY was the first one that I shorted. And I closed out that position a couple days ago at the 60% gain. Not bad for a week. 60% on a week. But I did that about the same day that I put out the video warning you guys to not believe all the Reddit bullshit on BBBY, that these convertible for preferred shares they're gonna hold down any attempt for the stock to move up. It could
BBBY
move up.
Got hammered today.
Huh?
$1.60 and change.
It could move up if they have an announcement about selling Bye Bye Baby. Could. But as soon as it starts moving up, boy, you're going to see the convertible shares convert like a money printer and push that price right back down into your buying pressure. And God help you if you're buying at the top on the next little run up to $3. It's gonna get walked right back down. 3, 5, whatever it goes to. Just saying, if you're buying it now and it starts moving, take some profits off the table. That's the smart play. Don't believe all these people that say it's going to 100. It could. I mean, it could if you get a real short squeeze, but the shorts are going to have no mercy, no fear, because they know there's going to be convertible shares dumping into the market as the price is running up. Those guys are going to take those profits. Whoever bought those convertible preferred shares will unload them on you.
Mm-hmm.
Wolverine says, can you believe people are still counting how many days on the threshold list? I get it. I don't bother them too much, Wolverine. Everybody needs some sort of hope when we're stuck in a market like we're in. But if you ask me about it, and someone did earlier, I'll give you my honest answer about threshold list. Trader says buying BBBY is like buying a Chevy Sunfire and hoping it won't blow a head gasket.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
there could be a chance of a little run on Bed Bath, but it's not going to go very far, I don't think, because they got 700 million shares to dump on you.
Didn't they? What did they just give that company that gave them the money?
They gave them
million?
convertible preferred stock, convertible preferred series stock. They gave them bonus warrants and bonus common stock.
Yeah, but it was equivalent to a crazy amount of shares, is what I'm saying.
700 million is what 7 to 900 million is what the float is going to go to from 100 million once all those are converted and exercised.
Yeah.
That's like an infinite share dump on retail. So God bless you if you're willing to buy into that, and I hope you make some money.
That or Mullen?
But it's like have you ever been to a water park and they got that thing that's about the size of a house that fills up with water and then it just tilts?
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen to you in Bed Bath and Beyond. You're just standing down there on the tarmac waiting for that kettle to tip over on you.
Yeah. I don't know who has a bigger float, Mullen or BBBY, but Mullen's got a massive float.
So speaking of Mullen, I wanted to talk on that real quick. I thought about all weekend about doing a video on Mullen. I'm still going to do one this week, but I hate being that guy that only covers bad news. I've been saying for well over a year, 18 months, that I was not going to buy Mullen until it hit 25 cents. Why? Why did I say that? Why have I taken all the arrows in the back for the last 18 months? You just don't believe in Mullen. No, Mullen could have a shot in 2024, 2026 if they don't go bankrupt. But after my long wait, 25 cents, it dropped below 25 today, finally. Down 5%. Low on the day, 24.49. After that vote a week, 10 days ago, there's up to 5 billion dilution coming on Mullen. The current float is outstanding shares 1.75 billion. So you're almost going to triple the float on Mullen, and there's going to be a reverse split coming up. So at this point, I don't know. I mean, 25 cents was where I would start watching it for me. Now I know the reverse split's going to happen. It's a failing non-revenue penny stock with a shit ton of debt and no income. It's going to reverse split. It'll run up and it'll start getting bled back down. So I don't even know if I want to buy it at 25 cents, but at some point, the important thing is they're going to raise money by selling shares. So that is the nice thing I can say about Mullen. And hopefully they raise enough to get them into full production of the Mullen 5 later in 2024. I know about all the other cars. I know also how many times they've promised delivery of different vehicles and didn't do it. So I don't believe much of what that CEO. Add him to the list of CEOs I don't believe. Add Mullen to the list of crazed fairy tale Reddit stories. It's not going to be pretty the next year for Mullen. But if you get in cheap enough and you're patient, and they drop some good news, if your timing is impeccable, you can get a little pop on it. If I were to buy it at 25 cents and it ran to 40, I'd sell it. I would. That's how I would trade Mullen right now.
I made $10 on it and sold it.
$10 net?
Huh?
$10 net?
Yeah. I said, I'm out.
DevStat says, what are your thoughts on Thomas Petterfee? I saw that video, guys. He was looking. I was thinking of Steven. I was watching Petterfee. He's like looking down, moving. I was like, is he playing Super Steven in chess? He's looking down and moving his hand like he's moving some chess pieces. That was very odd body language and eye contact. Like Petterfee knows to look into the camera. Was he preoccupied with something, or was he too embarrassed by what he was saying because he was lying to look into the camera? I don't know. Guys, I know there are other content creators that push interactive brokers and talk about using it. I am not one of those. I had a interactive account prior to June of 2021, and they shut off the buy button. I moved all my positions out of that broker. I do not support interactive brokers. So, and I don't like that this guy, I get it. He's old school Wall Street. He's going to talk like an institutional investor. He understands the risks. He's not hoping for a moonshot, but he's also putting out a lot of negative sentiment. So I'm not a fan of Mr. Petterfee. And who knows what data he is selling or sharing to hedge funds or institutional investors. All of you that are long on AMC or GameStop in interactive brokers. I don't want, they're probably all selling our data, but that guy for sure is not on our side.
Yeah. Hi, Pam. How are you? Good night, Gorilla.
What else? Highcroft. I got off on the Mullen tangent. Someone asked, is Highcroft going to a quarter? I doubled my position on Highcroft when it hit 50 cents. And I said in the Discord a few weeks ago when I did that my next buy-in target is 25 cents. So that's where I think Highcroft is potentially headed. I know some of you don't want to hear that. I made videos a year ago when it ran up to 3 saying don't buy it at $3.
You think it's going to get reverse split?
Absolutely.
I'm waiting until that happens.
I have 25 calls on Highcroft, and I have a small position. It's a very speculative play. They're not in production of gold right now. They got a little bit that they're pulling off the leach pads. They've got a little bit of inventory. They're still processing and selling. You'll see a little bit of revenue, but I've put out 3 due diligence videos giving you guys the honest truth of what's happening with Highcroft. They're drilling, they're exploring, they're going to come at you with a plan of all of the resource and all of the new resources that they found. I hope it's good. Being long on Highcroft like I am. And then the next thing they're going to drop on you is that they need to build probably $750 million to $1 billion milling plant, and they're going to need to do some dilution to raise money for that. And so I'm thinking in my mind that we've got dilution and a reverse split coming in Highcroft. Now is not the time for me to be loading up on it. I'll take some positions right now when it's cheap in hopes of some good news that I can trade off of. But for me, Highcroft is a very long-term investment, and for Adam Aaron it is too. He said that he's looking at it as like a 5 to 7 year play. I would advise listen to what these people are telling you, not somebody on YouTube or Reddit. that's saying it's going to squeeze tomorrow. There's zero chance of Hycroft squeezing when they're not actively mining.
I sold mine in the intention to buy back in after reverse split and dilution.
That's probably a smart play.
What do I know? I'm mediocre, buddy.
Yeah, I have a very small position in Hycroft. My next buy-in, 25-cent price target. I hope it doesn't happen. And the best thing that could happen for Hycroft is for gold to shoot to $3,000. But that's one of many possibilities that gold could also go down. So if you're in that play, have a lot of patience would be my recommendation. Like have years of patience, and don't overload at high prices. You're not going to see me buying Hycroft into any FOMO run up. I'm going to be selling it into FOMO run ups, wait for it to come back down and buy it back again. And if that happens in the next 6 months.
I don't like trading too much in this unpredictable market. So what I do is I make smart trades instead, I protect my money.
Pam says, go see Magic Mike's Last Dance with Scarlett. We were looking at movies, Pam. I was scrolling through the AMC app, and I was looking for the times on Ant-Man, and she was sitting next to me, and of course the Magic Mike like picture on the AMC app. She's like, wait, what was that? I was like, that's Magic Mike. The next one, she's like, you wouldn't let me go see that, would you? I was like, I don't run your life. You can go see it if you want to, but I'm not going to go see it. I was laughing at her comment. You're not going to let me go see that. No, I don't make rules like that. She can go see whatever she wants. I have no intention to go see it, Pam. Come out here and go watch it with her, Pam. How about that?
I just seen Ant-Man last night.
What'd you think?
I fell asleep. No, I had a real bad headache, and so I nodded off for a little bit, but it wasn't bad.
Can I tell you my story?
Sure.
So I went to see it by myself. Since we didn't go see Magic Mike, she's like, no, I'm just going to stay here and rest. Or maybe she had some work to go do. I don't know, run errands. Anyway, she couldn't go or didn't want to go see Ant-Man, and my kid couldn't go. So I went to go see it by myself. What day was that? Sunday, I think. Saturday or Sunday. And yes, those AMC reclining chairs are so comfortable if you're old and work a lot of hours till the wee hours in the morning like I do, and then wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. It's so difficult to stay asleep sometimes in some movies. But all that being said, I enjoyed the movie. Fantastic graphics, a lot of computer generated shit. There were some funny moments, a lot of unexpected humor that I was not expecting. Like the most ridiculous things, like the ship that he was driving by his hands inside. And the buildings that were alive, like just so many unexpected things for me that I thought were they were noteworthy.
About Darren, what'd you think of him?
Oh God, that guy with the big face.
Yeah,
I was cracking up every time he was on camera. I was like, this is one of the funniest characters I've ever seen, and totally unexpected.
Yeah.
But, I had a bad experience also. And I ordered my food, and it was a full dine-in theater, and I've never had an issue there other than they used to not have a bartender, and now they do. I did not order alcohol this time, but I skipped my lunch so I could go there and eat a meal. And I said, I'm trying to work my way through the menu mediocre. So every time I go, I try and order something new. So this time I walked up to the counter and I said, I would like the buffalo chicken sandwich. It's like a grilled chicken sandwich smothered in buffalo sauce with lettuce and tomato. And I just felt like, I don't really want a burger. I was also looking at getting one of the other burgers I haven't tried. but I decided on chicken. And he said, I'm sorry, what was that? And I said, I want the buffalo chicken sandwich and please add bacon to it. It's like an extra $1. And I said, I want to try a different shake. He said, what side do you want? I said, fries, obviously. And I said, I want to try a shake. So this time I'm going to try the Oreo shake. He said, okay, I need your seat number so we can bring you your food in about 10 minutes. Gave him my seat number. By the time they brought it, 10 minutes later, the movie was already starting. I got there right at the end of the previews. Movie was already starting. It's dark. They bring me my food. I gave her a tip this time. I didn't know. I just never thought before last week when I went to a movie and the guy hung out uncomfortable amount of time after he gave me my food. He's like, thank you.
Oh, boy.
Thank you. I was like, it hit me after he walked. I was like, thank you. Yeah, it looks awesome. Thank you. After he walked away, I was like, fuck, I'm probably supposed to tip these people. I didn't even realize.
Fucking Tony.
This time I tipped her. So I think my food was like $32 and I tipped her about 10% for bringing it the 100 steps to me. But then I start digging into my food, mediocre. It's a completely wrong sandwich. It was not a buffalo grilled chicken with bacon. It was a Western barbecue burger, beef with cheese and barbecue sauce, which was fine, I guess, because that was one of the burgers I haven't tried yet, but it's not what I ordered. And the guy asked me twice what I wanted. And there was a ticket printed out, taped to my food, and it had my seat number on it. And it had the wrong order printed out. So he punched the wrong button and gave me the wrong food. And I don't know how you ask me twice what I want, and I tell you clearly, and you give me the wrong thing. Never happened. Wasn't a big deal. The burger was great. The Western barbecue burger.
Didn't know how to clear it.
But then, after I ate the burger and fries, delicious. Let's get busy on this Oreo shake. Grab my shake. I'm like, no fucking straw. Now, these shakes, guys, these are huge, and they're piled about 3-4 inches high with whipped cream and Oreo sprinkles. And then there's a toothpick with 3 more Oreo cake cookies on it. So I had to pull the toothpick off, and then I'm trying to eat the whipped cream. And by then it was already melting because I had eaten my burger and fries, and the shake is just pouring all over my fingers on the table. Thank God they hadn't given me like 15 napkins. It was such a fucking mess. Now, yes, I guess I could have gone up and
get the napkins.
The straws they give you are really big, so you can, because the shakes, you need a wide straw. But I didn't feel like walking all the way back to ask for a straw because by then we're 30 minutes into the movie, and I don't want to leave to go get a fucking straw. I had to end up MacGyvering it. I took those Oreo cakes off the 10-inch toothpick, and I bent it in half. The toothpick, I snapped it, and I MacGyvered it into some chopsticks to eat my shake. But at the end, I was just covered in ice cream. It was. After the movie was over, I went into the lobby and I sat down for like a good 10 minutes. After I went to the bathroom and washed all the ice cream off my hands, sitting in ice cream on my hands for 90 minutes. I was like, is this really worth talking to the manager about? The people that I ordered the food from, they were already gone. I went and looked. I was like, is this worth making a big deal about? I ended up deciding no, I've been to that theater so many times. It's the first time I've ever had any problem, but maybe word got out, mediocre. This guy doesn't tip. Let's fuck over his order. This guy doesn't tip. Well, I did now, motherfuckers. I did now. That was my mistake.
Yeah, I had such a fucking splitting headache, and I promised my niece and nephew I'd take them to this movie, and my wife was not going to let me live it down if I didn't go. So I went, and I just took my sweatshirt and I put it into a ball, and I was in a nice recliner, and I was out. I probably I don't think I slept too long. I was listening, but I had to take a nap. My head was pounding, but it was a pretty good movie. I won't lie. Like, I didn't fall asleep because the movie was boring or nothing. I fell asleep. I wasn't feeling good. That's all.
I'm not gonna lie. I nodded off a couple times for those little microseconds.
Oh yeah.
You wake up and the scene has changed, and you realize you just missed something. It's a long movie. It's over 2 hours.
Yeah.
And those beautiful, beautiful reclining seats. And in my theater, it's freezing cold, and the seats have built-in heaters. So, you can get lulled into, if you're sleepy, you can get lulled into a nap real easily. Do I have a cell phone to call for a
theater you met Adam Aaron at?
Huh?
Is that the theater you met Adam Aaron at?
No, he didn't come to Austin. He came to Dallas. So my wife and I drove to Dallas just for the experience, and beautiful theater up there at the mall in Dallas. KC also happened to go that day. But since he wasn't coming to Austin, I was like, what the hell? We'll drive up to Dallas. It's only 3 hours.
I'm going to go try and have a slight little interview with him, I think, maybe.
V Gamer says, lawsuit, will it hold? Will the vote go through? We'll find out. It seems a bit frivolous to me, but I'm not an attorney. I'd looked through all the filings. I looked through all AMC's articles of incorporation, every filing they made. I looked through the SEC regulations. I see an out for everything. I understand the allegations that were being made. I was interacting with these people on Twitter yesterday and even for the last week, trying to provide my idea of a rebuttal, how I thought they were misinterpreting it. But at the end of the day, whoever was pushing that narrative hired an attorney. So it doesn't matter my rebuttals. It doesn't matter my opinion or my due diligence or my understanding of filings or regulations. It's in the hands of the big boys now, AMC's corporate securities attorneys, and there is a team of them. And so what I say now at this point is really irrelevant. I don't know. S. Jackson says, always put the tip, slide it slowly. Word will get out. Word will get out that his tip is good. Elaine says, I've fallen asleep at the movies and got woken up because I was snoring. My wife is famous, Elaine, for falling asleep at movies. That's why I don't feel bad about leaving her home. And she's like, no, I really don't want to see it. I was like, well, that's fine with me because, why am I going to spend $15-16 plus another 25 on food for you if you're just going to take a nap? You want to stay home? Great. I'd love for you to come to the movie with me. But if you want to stay home, that's not a big deal. S. Jackson says, Lane, what movie did you fall asleep at? Anya says, there are always so many lawsuits against companies. Yeah, and Allegheny County is also kind of lawsuit happy, Anya. I haven't gone through every lawsuit in detail to check for the merits, but I know they got a couple in the works with other companies. Is Clark asking, is there any validity? The same answer I just gave, Clark. The attorneys and the judge will decide. At this point, I think that there is not validity to it. The people making the allegations think that there is. We all have our opinions, but the legal process will let us know. I'm not an attorney, so my reading of it could be incorrect. We'll find out. They were dogpiling me today. Revenge, we got you. I was like, you made a filing. Like nobody's gotten anybody yet. Just hold you guys have failed to estimate my patience properly. If you think I'm going to be defeated by a lawsuit filing, that is meaningless. It's just, it's a delay at the best. It's a delay at the worst. If they're correct, and they could be, then the vote will be called off. So, or they'll have to redo something. So we'll see. It'll let the process take its course, and not much I can do about it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it either. Not.
You're not going to see me crying about it or getting angry. It was kind of expected. And when we saw it was lining up this weekend, those of us that can read the tea leaves kind of knew what was happening. All right. What time is it, Mediocre? It's 10 o'clock
11.
my time. What is it, 11 your time?
11 p.m. Yep.
Let's take 5 more minutes of questions and then I started early tonight so we could finish at a decent hour. Wanted to give you guys plenty of times to vent, ask questions, share your thoughts. So we'll take a couple more if we have not discussed something that is really bugging you. Appealing Alex says, what happens if the vote does not pass? If the vote doesn't pass, Alex, or the vote is called off due to the lawsuit, then AMC will be forced to continue raise money through APE. So you will see probably depending on how the whole lawsuit turns out, right? If the judge says APE was illegal altogether, well, that's a whole different story. If the judge says the vote is not written up properly, that's a different story. Like, we'll have to see. But let's just say if nothing changed right now, if there was no lawsuit and the vote did not pass, AMC will still need to raise money to get through this year. Adam Aaron will go file. He's got 40 million preferred shares left. He'll go file some number of those, probably 100, 10, 20 million of them to become APE, which would be 2 billion APE. Maybe he could file up to 4 billion APE. But let's pick a reasonable number. Let's say 2 billion, and he will continue selling APE, and the price will drop down 65 cents or lower, and he'll keep on raising enough money to keep the company from going into any sort of credit default, covenant default, and have enough cash to pay the bills until the movie theaters are profitable in 2024. So you will see additional APE, I think, and you will be further diluted in your AMC position by virtue of those APE being sold, and potentially, if all that happens, and they were to lose the lawsuit, you're allowing institutions to buy up very cheap votes and let AMC's attorneys get a properly worded vote pushed back out. So you're not going to see the end of the attempts to reconvert APE to AMC, because they're not going to want to do it inefficiently like that. So that's what I think. That's what I think will happen. No vote, more APE, cheap, inefficient cash raise, another vote properly worded coming back at you. What do you think, Mediocre?
Yeah, I think that Terra and AMC would have another deal for some shares to raise their share count to help pass a vote. That's just what I think. I think dilution is going to happen in APE, which is going to hurt us more rather than doing it, just converting and doing it, right? Converting and doing it, easy way, it saves us. But if we could continue to dilute APE, I think it hurts us.
I got a lot of people sending me messages today, and I see one in the chat about Troika Media Group. Did you look into them at all, Mediocre? TRKA?
Nope, I didn't have time to, but there's a few people in my Discord that did enter that play.
I mean, I looked at it for like 5 minutes last week. I think we talked about it in the live stream briefly. It's run up from 9 cents all the way to 22 cents since the 9th of February. Since the 9th of December. And I think I remember saying that is a nice upslope. That's a 2-month run up. And then today, for whatever reason, it popped up to 33 cents. I have not looked. Oh, they withdrew a S1. So that, people like to see companies withdraw a dilution. That's probably why it popped today. Other than that, I don't have an opinion on them because I have not read through any filings. I can tell you based on the chart, right now it's moving the right direction.
Yeah.
I would only be buying a penny stock company like this for momentum. I can't comment any further without looking at their financial statements.
Yeah, I didn't look at it at all. I know that there's a couple people that jumped into that. I just overheard some stuff, but I don't really know because I didn't look at it. I was on the road today in my truck, so.
H.G. Wells says, was the creation of ape illegal? I mean, that is an allegation. And look, I've spent many, many hours researching what AMC did. I can talk on it at length. And I doubt that very many other people talking about what happened with ape have done near the amount of research I have. I've heard so much misinformation, but AMC has in its original articles of incorporation from 2013 a preferred stock provision. If you are incorporated in Delaware, this is a very common boilerplate language. That means everybody uses it, including Tesla, GameStop, many others. Many, many big corporations are incorporated in Delaware because there's a lot of corporate advantages, including the ability to create blank check preferred stock. And the time to do that, according to corporate securities attorneys, is when you file your original articles of incorporation. So that is when the majority of them add it. When they start, they stuff this in so that if you're the first shareholder, it's already in there. There's nothing you can do about it. And that's been the case with AMC. That's the case with most Delaware corporations. It's already stuffed in there. You may have never noticed it, but they put it in there for anti-takeover. You hear people talk about the anti-takeover provision. What a lot of people don't know is there are almost infinite abilities to use that stock for whatever the fuck they want. That's why it's called in Delaware, in attorney talk, blank check preferred stock. They literally can do whatever they want with it if the proper wording is in the original articles of incorporation. So no, I do not think that that it was illegal, the creation of APE. They have clearly identified in the original charter the ability to use that stock, that preferred stock, for whatever they want without any approval from the shareholders, including setting voting rights, conversion rates. It's all laid out. I think AMC is 100% safe there. I could be wrong. I'm not an attorney, but I've spent a lot of time reading up on this and learning about it and looking at other companies that have the same thing. I think that in that case, they're just fine.
Well, I'll add that I'm glad you knew all that because I didn't know none of that shit.
I mean, the amount of ability it gives them to do whatever the fuck they want is it is disturbing if you think about it. But the intent of it is if someone were to come in and buy up all the common stock, they could just basically create more stock through just what they just did with the preferred and APE and prevent someone from getting control of the company because they can almost infinitely create stock.
Yeah, I mean, I never read any of that. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, if you guys if you want to get a 10th grade education, just Google blank check preferred stock. You don't have
that
to.
explains why it's in Delaware because I wanted to know that. So you taught me something tonight.
Yeah, you don't have to become experts on it, but you can read up in 5 minutes and generically what it is. And yes, many companies have this. I've heard people say this was a poison pill against retail since 2013. They plan to screw you all the way since the beginning. No, that is a false narrative because I will bet you money that I could find 50, 100 companies that have almost the same or very similar wording. You can find attorney corporate law websites that have blank check preferred stock suggested wording. It's boilerplate, guys. Once they know what works, they sell it to attorneys so you can grab it and insert it into your articles of incorporation as you're writing up a new company.
Mm-hmm.
AMC did not do anything shady by having this, but they did utilize it to get out of a problem they had right now, which is they need cash. Again, this all goes back to why it's important to read filings. And I'll tell you, I'll be honest, there's very few times I've had to worry about going back and reading the original charter of a company. I always try and read quarterly statements and annual reports, even back in the old days when they'd mail us these huge pamphlets. But I don't know. I enjoy doing that stuff. I'm weird. That's what for those of you that don't enjoy it, that's what I'm here for.
I agree with Michael Glenn.
Michael says the lawsuit has no merit and will not stop the current actions. Yeah, it depends, Michael, how fast a judge looks at it and what sort of, how fast the urgency is to get a hearing or an injunction on this. I hope that it doesn't, but, if the judge can't see through all of the claims really quickly, then he might say you need to postpone the election while we have the plaintiffs and defendants come in and at least argue their points. But if AMC's attorneys are good, I think most of these allegations they should be able to poke holes in pretty easily. Based on my understanding of the securities law, this whole 20% thing, again, more misinformation based on my reading. Based on the waiver of the 20% rule that the SEC put in place. There's just so many things that people are hoping they got a aha gotcha moment against Adam Aaron and AMC, but I don't see it. But I don't know every arguable in and out of the regulations, so I could have missed something. We'll find out. That's why they pay them the big bucks. Anya said, will the lawsuit expose naked shorts? I don't know if it'll expose naked shorts, Anya, but what I can tell you, what will happen in this time of uncertainty, depending on when we get any sort of next feedback point about what's going on with that lawsuit. If there is uncertainty, I think it's reasonable to expect APE to go down and AMC to go up. And I also know that the cost to borrow is very high right now. There's a lot of shorts in the play. And for people that are holding AMC, that could be really interesting, especially if you pile on a February 28th better than expected earnings announcement. This is what makes this place so damn exciting to me. The fucking unknowns. That's why I didn't change anything. I didn't sell AMC to buy APE. I didn't sell APE to buy AMC. I stayed with what I had and I added.
That's it.
The uncertainty is what is going to fuck over a hedge fund if they are wrong. That's the best news I can give you. The unknown catalyst. Who knows what's going to happen? I'll take a squeeze in AMC. Even if APE goes to zero, I'll fucking take it.
Yeah, same.
Everybody thinks I'm pushing a narrative. I'm pushing a narrative of not watching all my money go to zero. Not watching you will never see a tweet from me saying I'd rather this company go bankrupt than to dilute or to reverse split. No, I'm in it to win. And that means not letting my investment go to zero, whatever that takes, however much patience or time that takes. But in the meantime, if this lawsuit is inconvenient and still causes AMC to squeeze.
That's the other thing, right?
Beautiful.
If AMC goes to zero or APE goes to zero, I mean, and we end up losing display, you solved nothing over 2 years. You didn't change the market. You didn't save the company.
And you allowed the hedge funds to win.
Right. So,
But
I mean,
I still hear that narrative out there. I'd rather this company go bankrupt than for me to not get my short squeeze next week.
I don't get it.
Oh, Lordy. Anyways, whatever happens, the most exciting thing for all of us is uncertainty is what causes hedge funds to get caught off guard. And AMC is well positioned. The stock, the ticker AMC, is well positioned to get a little squeezy. So we'll see what happens.
I try to always be comfortable. Always.
I said a week or so ago, Mediocre, that I would consider buying APE if it fell below 55-60% of AMC. I didn't know that I'd be looking at my chance. Right now we're about 35-36% of AMC.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you that are really bold, if you don't care about the uncertainty of the vote and the lawsuit, there is now, in my opinion, an opportunity to pick up some APE relatively cheap to AMC. But I'm not tempted at $2.20. I need it to go a little lower before I would add any more.
I'm thinking about it. I gotta lower my cash account a little bit. My IRA is beautiful. Like, it's perfect. I love that one, but it'd be nice to lower my cash account down, because that means more profits I could take home with me.
Well, cheers to all of you guys for hanging out tonight. Fuck the hedgies. Fuck the shorts. Fuck Gary. Can I say that? No. Gary, we need you on our team. Help retail traders, Gary. Be good to one another. Everybody has different opinions. You all are welcome here as long as you can be respectful. Nobody's going to be right on everything, including me and Mediocre. We're just here sharing our thoughts. We don't always get it. We don't get everything right all the time, but we try our best to answer your questions as honestly and unbiased as we can, even if it's not what you want to hear, with the ultimate goal of seeing you guys long-term be successful in trading. Develop that habit of becoming cold-blooded and emotionless. Develop a risk-balanced portfolio. Take this opportunity in the down market to buy some good blue chip stocks with a history of positive earnings and a history of increasing earnings. So many good deals out there right now. If you have a long-term outlook, 2, 3, 5, 10 years, whatever it is, it's not going to be as exciting. I get it. But that's why we allocate a percentage of our portfolio to these fun adrenaline plays. But if you're going to go all in 100% on adrenaline, I don't want to hear you crying, because you made that choice.
I agree. I just want people to learn. Like, if you haven't learned, try to learn, because in the end, when you need to retire or something, if the market's still here, hopefully, you'll be able to, I mean, whatever. I don't know what's going to happen with this country. I'm just saying. But in general, if the market stays here for another 100 years, when you retire, if you learn, you can make money. I don't know what your job is, but most retirees don't have much money. So, we've learned a lot on how corrupt the market is. In what you could use that to your advantage. That's what I'm getting at. But I appreciate every one of you. And thanks for watching.
Thanks, Mediocre, for sharing your time with us. Thanks to all the mods that were here tonight. Thank you to everybody supporting the channel. Those of you with the badges next to your name, it means a lot. Don't forget, if you hit that little join button, I don't push membership, but if you do hit the join button, you have then it's $5 a month. That's like 25 cents a day. You do get free access to the Discord. And anytime I'm not on camera, that is where I'm at answering your questions. If you're trying to hit me up with questions on Twitter and comments on YouTube, I do my best, but most of my time is in the Discord helping people who are supporting this channel. So all of you with the colored names in the YouTube chat with the badges next to you, I appreciate you guys more than you know. For the rest of you that are just subbed to the channel or support the channel, support fair and balanced, truthful information, non-clickbait. Share the channel. Let's help retail together become better investors. I know it's not always exciting, but together we grow, we learn, we survive this down market, and we're here to play another day. We're here to profit and prosper.
That's right. We are. Hey, thank you, Tony. I appreciate it.
All right, guys, I'm going to go spend some time with the wife before it gets too late, if she's still awake. And let's hope for a good day tomorrow. $7 AMC, I'll be on camera. Or if there's some good trading opportunities and something else. Today just sucked. Today sucked in the market. So
Yeah, it did, totally.
John's day trades. Thank you, amigo. I appreciate you flashing the lights back there. All right, guys. Be good to one another, including people you don't like on YouTube. Argue the DD. Avoid the ad hominem attacks. Ad hominem meaning if your only response to someone is insulting them personally, then you have failed to make your case. So let's argue the DD and have some good spirited debates and learn together. Have a good night, all. Love you.
Good night.